The Seminoles come into this game feeling good about their young redshirt freshman quarterback DeAndre Francois, who completed 69% of his passes, 5 touchdowns to only 1 interception. But more important than anything is that he's shown the ability to be unfazed by pressure, and that's pressure from the defense and pressure of the moment. Offensively in this ball game for the Noles, both the offensive line and the receiving core have to get off to an early start. We saw them sort of sleepwalk through the first half versus Ole Miss and pick it up late. That can't happen versus a team like Louisville. Defensively, it's about getting push versus pressure against Lamar Jackson, and as cliche as it sounds, you want Jackson to solely be a pocket passer in this ball game. Louisville is as explosive as advertised and coming to this matchup with the ability to dictate both tempo and pace. You're looking for an elite level of consistency from the offense if you're head coach Bobby Petrino, and despite their ability to score at will, the Cardinals do have the propensity to get a little careless and sloppy with the football. Now, defensively, they can get after the quarterback, and in this game, they're going to have to be sure to get 11 guys to the football versus Dalvin Cook. I see this being a very low-scoring contest, and I like the matchups on the outside with the Cardinals receivers and the Seminoles defensive backs. I think that's where the game will be won or lost, with the X factor being quarterback Lamar Jackson. I like the Cardinals. The Buffaloes are coming into Ann Arbor off to an impressive 2-0 start, and I like how Sifo Lafau puts pressure on an opposing defense with his ability to make plays with his arm as well as with his legs. And their offense can show balance, and they'll have to have that in this ball game. But defensively, we are going to find out a lot about the Buffaloes defense, and nose tackle Josh Tupou will play a big-time role in this matchup versus the Wolverines' ground attack. Michigan, on the other hand, has shown impressive balance at this early juncture of the season. Wide receivers Jehu Chesson and Amara Darboh are 2 of the best in the nation. Head coach Jim Harbaugh has also gotten great play from quarterback Wilton Spate, and where the Wolverines hung their hat last year and where they'll hang it again this year is on the defensive side of the ball. The goal is to make the Buffaloes one-dimensional, and I think they'll do that. I like Michigan to win this one, but keep an eye on Buffalo's cornerback Chidobe Awuzie and who he's matched up against, whether it's Darboh or Chesson. He'll compete well. This one should be a great game. Styles make fights, and we have a great one here between Louisiana Tech and Texas Tech, and the Bulldogs' game plan is a simple one. Play keep away from the Red Raiders. Up front, Louisiana Tech does an outstanding job in getting movement in the running game, and tailbacks Jared Kraft and Boston Scott make an excellent 1-2 combination. Defensively is where they'll be tested. They haven't faced a passing game and a quarterback, for that matter, like Patrick Mahomes this season. The Red Raiders stay true to their nickname, as they are a wild, up-tempo offense that puts a ton of pressure on your secondary depth and your ability to match up against their 4 and 5 wide receiver sets. Their biggest challenge will come on third downs. Can this Red Raider defense keep Louisiana Tech from long, sustained drives? That's the $64,000 question. I think an even bigger question would be if the Bulldogs can keep Patrick Mahomes contained in the pocket and not allow him to extend plays. I think we'll see a slow start from both teams and a fast finish, with the Red Raiders prevailing in Lubbock. In another Styles Make Fights matchup, Pitt travels to Stillwater to take on Oklahoma State, and this game will be won in the trenches. I like what the Panthers bring to the table along the offensive line, led by senior All-American Adam Biznawadi, and the Cowboys have a veteran group up front that's able to reset the line of scrimmage versus the run and also pressure the quarterback. Their redshirt sophomore defensive end Jarrell Owens is going to be a good one, and we know Oklahoma State wants to spread the field and push the tempo, while Pitt wants to play small ball and force you to get off blocks on a consistent basis. We saw both teams last week give their fan bases heart attacks, but this will be one of the better games of the weekend. I like the Panthers in this one. I think they match up well versus the Cowboys offense, and most importantly, they can run the football really well with James Conner. Panther quarterback Nathan Peterman has been a pleasant surprise and has played some good ball early on. Look for strong safety Jordan Whitehead to play a huge role in the Panthers' move to 3-0. It's always a good game when Michigan State and Notre Dame meet on a gridiron. The Spartans have had 2 weeks to prepare for this game, which definitely bodes well for their chances, and what they have to avoid is quick 3-and-outs. That's a big reason why Furman was able to hang around long enough to make it interesting. Michigan State has a very good defense and a solid running game led by L.J. Scott. The task for Notre Dame will be to make this a Deshaun Kaiser versus Tyler O'Connor game, and the Fighting Irish run defense, which was tested in the opener versus Texas, will be tested once again. Linebackers Niles Morgan and James Onwualu will be counted on a lot to make Sparty one-dimensional. All things considered, you have to look at which team can make plays in the passing game if needed, and to me, that favors Kaiser and the Fighting Irish offense. I think this one will come down to the final minutes, but I do like Notre Dame to come away with the victory. Good matchup in the SEC this week as Alabama takes on Ole Miss. And for the visiting Tide in this game, I'll look to the defensive side of the football, the secondary in particular, as they're going to have to be able to match up one-on-one with that Rebels passing attack, and I think that's going to be key. Two sophomore cornerbacks in Minka Fitzpatrick and Marlon Humphrey will have to match physicality with Quincy Adebayo and Demoria Stringfellow, while strong safety Eddie Jackson will probably draw the responsibility of covering tight end Evan Ingram. Now for the Rebels, ball security is first and foremost of the utmost importance. Quarterback Chad Kelly has to be sure to play a clean, smart game, while head coach Hugh Freeze has to keep running back Akeem Judd involved in a game plan. Judd can have some success on quick hitters in the running game and also screen passes versus an aggressive Bama defense. I think the Rebels defense can match Bama's intensity in the trenches, but can their offensive line keep Kelly from getting harassed all day long? I don't think so, and I like Alabama. This will be a tough game for quarterback Jalen Hurts, but look for running back Damian Harris to pick up the slack and be the reason why Bama rolls. And finally, a great Big Ten, Big 12 matchup between Ohio State and Oklahoma. This will have a bowl game-like atmosphere to it. The Buckeyes have to avoid the slow start offensively, and yes, they are good enough to overcome a slow start. But if you can avoid putting yourself in that situation, then you have to do it. Now, defensively, it's business as usual for the Buckeyes, as they are a smothering group at each and every level of their defense with the ability to take the ball away. Now, for the Sooners, I think the matchup they should exploit is with running back Joe Mixon in the passing game. In my opinion, Mixon versus any one of those Buckeye backers definitely favors Oklahoma. Everywhere else, the Sooners have to get back to basics, blocking well up front, catching the football, avoiding mental breakdowns in protection or even in penalties. Quarterback Baker Mayfield can create plays outside the framework of the play, which will be needed in this one. The Sooners defense is also very good, and I do think they can do their part in making JT Barrett beat them from the pocket. Look for the Sooners to win the battle in the trenches, forcing Ohio State to pass more so than they want to. I like Oklahoma to win.